When dealing with a 4-wire receptacle and a 3-wire cord on your dryer, you have two main options. The first option is to change the receptacle. The applicable National Electrical Code reference is 210.8a. Firstly, turn off the power to the dryer circuit at the breaker. Secondly, remove the existing 4-wire receptacle from the wall. Thirdly, install a new 3-wire receptacle, ensuring it has an appropriate grounding terminal. Finally, reconnect the power supply wires to the new receptacle and tighten all connections securely. The second option involves changing the cord. The applicable National Electrical Code reference is 427.3. Firstly, turn off the power to the dryer circuit at the breaker. Secondly, disconnect the old 3-wire dryer cord from both the dryer and the 4-wire receptacle. Thirdly, install a new 4-wire dryer cord that is compatible with both the dryer and the 4-wire receptacle, which should include a grounding conductor. Fourthly, connect the new cord to the dryer and the 4-wire receptacle, ensuring all connections are correctly made. Finally, reconnect the power supply, making sure that all connections are tight and secure. The recommendation is generally to change the receptacle to a 3-wire type. This is considered a more permanent solution and ensures proper grounding, assuming the home's wiring is compatible with a 3-wire setup. It's important to understand the implications of each choice. Changing the receptacle requires you to handle the wiring at the wall. Changing the cord means working on the dryer's connections. Regardless of which option you choose, grounding is crucial. The dryer must be properly grounded to prevent potential electrical hazards. This grounding provides a safe path for electrical fault current to return to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and preventing electric shock. Consider some additional notes. Firstly, if you are not comfortable performing electrical work, it is best to contact a licensed electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and a professional has the training and experience to do the job safely and correctly. Secondly, make sure to check local building codes and permits before making any changes to the electrical system. Local codes may have specific requirements for dryer connections, and a permit may be required for the work. When changing the receptacle, be sure to select a 3-wire receptacle that is rated for the voltage and amperage of the dryer circuit. The receptacle should also be listed by a recognized testing laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories or Electrical Testing Laboratories. When connecting the wires to the receptacle, make sure to use the correct terminals. The black wire goes to the hot terminal, the white wire goes to the neutral terminal, and the bare or green wire goes to the ground terminal. Tighten the terminal screw securely to ensure good connection. When changing the cord, be sure to select a 4-wire cord that is the correct length and gauge for the dryer. The cord should also be listed by a recognized testing laboratory. When connecting the wires to the dryer, make sure to use the correct terminals. The black and red wires go to the hot terminals, the white wire goes to the neutral terminal, and the bare or green wire goes to the ground terminal. Tighten the terminal screws securely to ensure a good connection. After completing the work, test the dryer to make sure it is working properly. Use a multimeter to check the voltage at the receptacle and make sure it is within the proper range. Also, check the dryer for any signs of electrical problems such as sparks or smoke. If you have any questions or concerns, contact a licensed electrician. When dealing with electrical connections, it's always a good idea to take pictures before and after you make any changes. This can be helpful if you need to refer back to the original wiring configuration or if you need to troubleshoot any problems later on. If you're changing the receptacle, turn off the breaker that supplies power to the dryer circuit. Use a voltage tester to confirm that the power is off before you start working on the wiring. If you're changing the cord, unplug the dryer from the receptacle before you start working on it. When connecting wires, make sure to use wire connectors that are appropriate for the size and type of wire. Twist the wires together tightly before you put them in the connector. When tightening terminal screws, use a screwdriver that is the correct size and type. Do not over-tighten the screws as this can damage the terminals. After you have completed the work, inspect the wiring to make sure that there are no loose connections or exposed wires. Use electrical tape to insulate any exposed wires. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician to do the job. Electricity can be dangerous, and it's important to take all necessary precautions to avoid electrical shock. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for safe electrical installations. It's important to follow these guidelines to ensure that your electrical system is safe and reliable. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it's important to stay up to date on the latest requirements. You can find the NEC at most libraries or bookstores, or you can purchase it online. If you have any questions about the NEC, consult with a qualified electrician. Grounding is an important safety feature that helps to protect people from electrical shock. Grounding provides a path for electricity to flow back to the source in the event of a fault. This helps to trip the circuit breaker and prevent electrical shock. All electrical equipment should be properly grounded. If you're not sure whether your equipment is grounded properly, consult with a qualified electrician. Electrical shock can be fatal. If you come into contact with electricity, disconnect the power immediately. Call for emergency medical assistance. Do not attempt to move the person who has been shocked unless the power has been disconnected. Perform CPR if necessary. Always be careful when working with electricity. If you are unsure about what to do, consult with a qualified electrician. Remember to de-energize the circuit before commencing any work. Use appropriate personal protective equipment like insulated gloves and safety glasses. Never work on live circuits. Always double-check your connections and ensure they're secure. If you're unsure about anything, consult a qualified electrician. They can assess the situation, provide guidance, and perform the necessary work safely and correctly. Also, remember that electrical codes and regulations can vary depending on your location. It is essential to check with your local authorities or a qualified electrician to ensure that you are following the correct procedures and meeting all the required standards. This helps to ensure the safety of your home and family. In summary, adapting a dryer connection from a 4-wire receptacle to a 3-wire cord involves either changing the receptacle or changing the cord. Each option has its own set of steps and considerations. It's important to prioritize safety, follow electrical codes, and consult with a qualified electrician if you are not comfortable performing the work yourself. Proper grounding is crucial to prevent electrical hazards. Always double-check your connections and ensure they're secure.